The chilling allure of haunted islands in the vast expanse of our planet's oceans, islands have long held a mystical allure. These isolated patches of land, surrounded by endless water, are often shrouded in mystery and steeped in legend. Whether it's the dense jungles of the South Pacific or the rocky outcrops of the North Atlantic, islands evoke a sense of otherworldly enchantment that captures the imagination. This fascination is not merely due to their natural beauty or remoteness. It is also fueled by the countless stories of hauntings and supernatural occurrences that cling to these secluded places like mist over a moonlit sea. The concept of haunted islands taps into a primal fear, a fear of isolation, of being cut off from the rest of the world, where the usual rules of reality seem to bend and warp. These islands, often accessible only by boat or plane, become stages for tales of ghostly apparitions, mysterious disappearances, and eerie phenomena. From ancient folklore to modern-day accounts, the legends surrounding these islands span centuries, each story adding another layer to their haunting reputation. This article delves into some of the most haunted islands on Earth, exploring their histories and the chilling tales that make them infamous. We will journey through the shadowy pasts of these remote locations, uncovering the events that have left an indelible mark on their landscapes, and the psyches of those who dare to visit. As we explore these spectral shores, we invite you to open your mind to the possibility that in these forgotten corners of the world, the veil between the living and the dead may be thinner than anywhere else. Join us as we embark on this spine-tingling voyage, peeling back the layers of myth and reality to reveal why these haunted islands continue to captivate and terrify in equal measure. Whether you're a skeptic seeking rational explanations or a believer eager to delve deeper into the supernatural, the stories of these islands promise to chill you to the bone and leave you questioning the boundaries of the known world. Poveglia, the island of shadows nestled in the Venetian lagoon, Poveglia stands as one of the most haunted islands in the world, its soil soaked with centuries of despair and death. Originally settled during the Roman era, the island served as a refuge for people fleeing barbarian invasions. However, its dark history truly began in the 14th century when Venice, ravaged by the Black Death, used Poveglia as a quarantine station for plague victims. Ships arriving in Venice were directed to Poveglia, where those suspected of carrying the disease were unceremoniously dumped onto the island. Over time, tens of thousands of bodies were burned and buried there, creating a macabre landscape of human suffering and death. In the early 20th century, the island took on another grim role, this time as a mental asylum. Patients were sent to Poveglia under the care of a doctor whose experiments became the stuff of nightmares. It is said that he conducted lobotomies using crude tools, and his patients were subjected to horrific treatments, leading many to madness or death. Legend has it that the tormented souls of these patients still haunt the island, their cries echoing through the ruins of the asylum. The doctor himself is rumored to have met a grisly end, allegedly thrown from the asylum's bell tower by vengeful spirits, a tale that adds to the island's chilling lore. Today, Poveglia remains largely abandoned, its buildings overtaken by nature. Brave souls who venture onto the island report an overwhelming sense of dread, hearing disembodied voices and witnessing shadowy figures darting among the decaying structures. Some claim to feel cold spots or see ghostly apparitions of plague victims wandering aimlessly, their faces twisted in anguish. Others recount hearing the tolling of a phantom bell, though no bell exists on the island today. Poveglia's sinister reputation extends beyond ghost hunters and thrill-seekers. Locals in Venice speak of the island in hushed tones, warning others to stay away. Fishermen avoid casting their nets near its shores, fearing they might dredge up remnants of the countless bodies buried beneath the waves. Even the Italian government, which owns the island, has placed strict restrictions on access, citing safety concerns but also perhaps acknowledging the island's unsettling aura. As night falls over the Venetian lagoon, Poveglia becomes a place of shadows and secrets, its dark history alive in every rustling leaf and creaking timber. For those who dare to visit, the island offers no solace, only the oppressive weight of its tragic past and the restless spirits that linger within its confines. Poveglia is more than just an abandoned island. It is a testament to the horrors humanity can inflict and the enduring power of the dead to haunt the living. Roanoke Island, the lost colony, and its ghost. Roanoke Island, nestled off the coast of present-day North Carolina, holds a pivotal place in American history as the site of one of the earliest attempts at English colonization in the New World. Established in 1585, the Roanoke colony was part of Sir Walter Raleigh's ambitious plans to establish a permanent English settlement in North America. Despite initial efforts, the colony faced numerous hardships, including strained relations with local Native American tribes, food shortages, and harsh weather conditions. By 1590, when a supply ship finally returned after a 3-year delay, the settlers had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only the cryptic word Croton, carved into a tree. This disappearance has puzzled historians and intrigued the public for centuries, giving rise to myriad theories about the fate of the colonists. Some speculate that they integrated with nearby Native American tribes, while others suggest they succumbed to starvation or conflict. However, amidst these historical speculations, a darker narrative has emerged, one steeped in the supernatural. Local legends tell of ghostly apparitions seen around the island, believed to be the spirits of the lost colonists. Witnesses report seeing translucent figures in archaic clothing wandering through the woods, their expressions etched with sorrow and longing. The spectral figures are often spotted near the site of the original fort, silently reenacting scenes of daily life or standing motionless as if waiting for something, or someone, that never arrives. The haunting presence on Roanoke Island is not confined to visual sightings alone. Many visitors claim to hear faint whispers carried by the wind, murmurs in an Old English dialect that fade as quickly as they appear. At night, the air is filled with eerie sounds resembling distant cries or mournful wails, particularly around the areas where the colonists were last known to have lived. These auditory phenomena have been documented by both amateur ghost hunters and professional paranormal investigators, adding a layer of credibility to the island's haunted reputation. Roanoke Island continues to draw those fascinated by its dual identity as a historical landmark and a haunted locale. Annual Halloween tours and ghost walks offer brave souls the chance to explore its eerie corners, guided by storytellers well-versed in the island's rich tapestry of ghostly lore. As dusk settles over the island, shadows lengthen and the boundary between past and present blurs, inviting visitors to ponder the fate of those who once called Roanoke home, and whether their spirits still roam its haunted shores. Isle of the Dead, Tasmania's forgotten graves nestled in the serene waters of the Derwent River in Tasmania. The Isle of the Dead serves as a poignant reminder of Australia's colonial past and the lives lost during its early days. This small island, originally known as Opossum Island, gained its somber moniker due to its use as a burial ground from 1832 onwards. The island primarily served the penal colony at Port Arthur, a notorious site of punishment and labor for convicts transported from Britain. Over the years, it became the final resting place for over 1,000 individuals, including convicts, soldiers, and free settlers, each story etched into the silent stones that dot the island. The graves on the Isle of the Dead are segregated starkly by social status, reflecting the rigid class distinctions of the time. On the higher ground, marked gravestones memorialize officers and free citizens, their names and achievements preserved in granite. In contrast, the lower parts of the island hold unmarked graves of convicts, their identities and stories largely lost to history, remembered only by their numbers and roles rather than their names. Despite its tranquil appearance today, the Isle of the Dead is reputed to be one of the most haunted sites in Australia. Visitors and staff at Port Arthur have reported numerous ghostly encounters linked to the island. Apparitions of prisoners in tattered uniforms are said to wander the island, their chains rattling softly against the night air. Some claim to hear the sound of oars splashing in the water, reminiscent of the boats that ferried the deceased across the river. Others speak of a palpable sadness that hangs over the island, a collective grief emanating from the hundreds of unmarked graves. Perhaps the most chilling tales come from those who have ventured close to the island after sunset. They recount stories of shadowy figures moving amongst the headstones, their forms flickering like candle flames in the darkness. There are whispers of a woman in mourning attire seen walking along the shore, her sobs audible even over the gentle lapping of the waves. These spectral visions, coupled with the island's stark beauty and melancholic atmosphere, create an eerie tableau that continues to draw paranormal enthusiasts and history buffs alike. The Isle of the Dead, with its layered history of life, death, and remembrance, remains a powerful symbol of Tasmania's complex past. Each stone and unmarked patch of earth tells a story of hardship, loss, and the enduring human spirit. As the sun sets over the Derwent River, casting long shadows across the graves, the island stands as a silent sentinel, guarding the secrets of those who once walked its paths and now rest in its soil. Hashima Island, the hollow echoes of Japan's ghost town floating like a concrete battleship in the waters off Nagasaki. Hashima Island, also known as Gunkanjima, is a haunting relic of Japan's rapid industrialization and economic collapse. Once a thriving coal mining community, this tiny island housed over 5,000 residents at its peak in the mid-20th century, making it one of the most densely populated places on Earth. Towering apartment blocks, schools, shops, and even a cinema rose from its rocky shores, transforming Hashima into a self-contained city. But beneath the surface of progress lay a dark and oppressive reality, one that would eventually drive the island's inhabitants away and leave it to rot in silence. Hashima's coal mines, operated by Mitsubishi, were notorious for their grueling working conditions. Miners, including conscripted Korean and Chinese laborers during World War II, endured long hours in suffocating tunnels deep beneath the sea. Accidents were frequent, and deaths were not uncommon. Survivors spoke of unbearable heat, toxic air, and the constant fear of cave-ins. The island's prosperity came at a heavy cost, built on the backs of exploited workers whose suffering echoed through its crumbling walls. When the coal reserves dwindled and petroleum replaced coal as Japan's primary energy source, Mitsubishi officially shut down operations in 1974. Within weeks, the entire population fled, abandoning Hashima to the elements. Today, Hashima is a desolate wasteland frozen in time. Vines snake through shattered windows, and rusting staircases lead to nowhere. The island's decaying architecture, battered by decades of typhoons and saltwater erosion, creates an atmosphere of profound desolation. Yet, it is not just the physical decay that makes Hashima so unsettling. Visitors and urban explorers who brave its forbidden shores report an overwhelming sense of unease, as though the island itself is alive with the memories of those who suffered there. Whispers drift through empty hallways, footsteps echo in vacant apartments, and shadowy figures are glimpsed vanishing into the ruins. Some claim to hear the distant hum of machinery or the faint cries of miners calling out from the depths below. The island's eerie reputation has made it a magnet for paranormal investigators and filmmakers. The 2012 James Bond film Skyfall famously featured Hashima as the lair of the villain Raul Silva, amplifying its association with danger and malevolence. While skeptics argue that the ghostly phenomena can be attributed to the island's structural instability or psychological suggestion, others believe that Hashima is a place where the past refuses to die. The spirits of miners, trapped forever in the labyrinthine tunnels, and the families who lived under the weight of exploitation and despair, linger in the island's hollow spaces. For those who dare to step foot on Hashima, the experience is both awe-inspiring and deeply unsettling. It is a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for both creation and destruction, a place where ambition and suffering coexist in eternal tension. As the waves crash against its seawalls and the wind howls through its abandoned buildings, Hashima Island stands as a ghostly monument to a chapter of history that cannot be erased, a haunting testament to the lives lost and the dreams abandoned in pursuit of progress. Alcatraz Island, a fortress of fear. Alcatraz Island, often referred to as the Rock, looms ominously in the San Francisco Bay, its imposing silhouette a constant reminder of its storied past as one of the most notorious federal penitentiaries in the United States. Established in 1934, Alcatraz was designed to house the nation's most dangerous criminals, including infamous inmates like Al Capone and Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz. The prison's harsh conditions and strict discipline earned it a fearsome reputation, but it is the stories of paranormal activity that continue to captivate the imaginations of visitors and researchers alike. The origins of Alcatraz's haunting tales date back to its days as a military fortress in the mid-19th century. During this period, the island was used not only for defense but also as a military prison. Soldiers stationed there reported eerie sensations and inexplicable noises, setting the stage for the supernatural narratives that would follow. As the facility transitioned into a federal penitentiary, these accounts multiplied, with both inmates and guards claiming to witness ghostly apparitions and experience unsettling phenomena. One of the most chilling reports involves cell 14D, located in the dungeon area of the prison. This cell, notorious for its extreme isolation and lack of light, is said to be haunted by the spirit of a former inmate who died under mysterious circumstances. Numerous guards and prisoners have described feeling a cold presence and hearing anguished moans emanating from the cell, despite it being unoccupied. Some have even claimed to see the shadowy figure of a man pacing inside the cell, his form flickering in and out of visibility. Another frequently recounted story revolves around the warden's house, a residence on the island that overlooks the prison. Past occupants have reported strange occurrences such as doors slamming shut on their own, lights flickering without explanation, and the sensation of being watched. Paranormal investigators who have visited the house captured chilling EVP recordings of what sounded like whispers and footsteps, adding credence to the claims of spectral activity. The hospital wing of Alcatraz also plays a significant role in its haunted lore. Patients and medical staff from the prison's operational years spoke of seeing ghostly figures in white coats roaming the halls, believed to be the spirits of doctors and nurses who once worked tirelessly within its walls. More disturbing are the accounts of apparitions appearing in patient rooms, their translucent forms hovering over beds before vanishing into thin air. Today, Alcatraz is a popular tourist destination, drawing thousands of visitors each year who are eager to explore its eerie corridors and learn about its dark history. Guided night tours offer a particularly immersive experience, allowing guests to delve deeper into the island's supernatural side. These tours often include visits to the most haunted areas of the prison, where guides share spine-tingling stories and encourage participants to document any unusual experiences they might encounter. Whether driven by genuine belief in the paranormal or simply enticed by the allure of mystery, visitors to Alcatraz consistently report strange happenings. From sudden drops in temperature to unexplained shadows and disembodied voices, the island seems to thrive on instilling a sense of unease in those who dare to tread its haunted grounds. Alcatraz remains a powerful symbol of confinement and despair, a place where the echoes of the past refuse to fade, leaving an indelible mark on all who cross its threshold. The whispering sands of Bozava, secrets beneath the surface. On the sun-drenched shores of Croatia's Dalmatian coast lies Bozava, an idyllic island that appears to embody the essence of Mediterranean tranquility. With its crystal-clear waters, fragrant olive groves, and rustic stone cottages, Bozava seems like the perfect escape from the chaos of modern life. Yet beneath its picturesque exterior lies a shadowy history that few outsiders know, and fewer still dare to speak of. Locals whisper of strange occurrences linked to the island's beaches, where the sands themselves seem to harbor secrets too terrible to unearth. The phenomenon begins with the whispers. Visitors strolling along Bozava's pristine shores often report hearing faint, unintelligible murmurs carried by the breeze. At first, these sounds might be dismissed as the natural rustle of leaves or the gentle lapping of waves. But upon closer attention, the whispers grow clearer, forming fragmented phrases spoken in languages long forgotten. Some claim to hear pleas for help, while others describe ominous warnings that send shivers down their spines. What makes these auditory anomalies even more unsettling is their inconsistency. Sometimes the whispers cease entirely, only to return with greater intensity when least expected. Adding to the mystery are the peculiar patterns etched into the sand. Overnight, intricate designs resembling ancient symbols appear, seemingly drawn by invisible hands. Locals refer to these markings as the scars of the earth, believing they are messages left behind by restless spirits tied to the island's turbulent past. Historians speculate that Bozava may have once been a sacred site for prehistoric civilizations, though little evidence remains to confirm this theory. What is certain, however, is that the island has witnessed its share of tragedy. Centuries ago, it served as a haven for pirates who preyed on passing ships, leaving behind untold victims whose remains may still lie buried beneath the shifting sands. But it is not just the whispers and symbols that unsettle those who visit Bozava. The very texture of the sand seems to change depending on who walks upon it. Tourists have recounted stepping onto what feels like soft, powdery grains, only to suddenly sink ankle-deep into something cold and viscous, as though the ground itself is alive. Others describe finding objects half buried in the sand, coins, shards of pottery, even bones, that vanish without explanation when touched. These bizarre incidents have led some to believe that the island is cursed, its sands acting as a gateway to another realm where time and space lose all meaning. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of Bozava's haunting reputation stems from the stories of those who never returned. Fishermen and sailors tell tales of individuals who ventured too far along the shoreline and were never seen again. Their disappearances are often accompanied by eerie sightings, dark shapes moving just beneath the surface of the water, glowing eyes peeking out from the waves, or ghostly figures beckoning from the cliffs above. While skeptics attribute these accounts to accidents or overactive imaginations, locals insist there is something malevolent lurking beneath the island's serene facade. Despite, or perhaps because of, its unsettling reputation, Bozava continues to attract curious travelers eager to uncover its mysteries. Daytime visitors rarely experience anything out of the ordinary, lulled into complacency by the island's breathtaking beauty. But as night falls and the moon casts its silvery glow over the beach, the true nature of Bozava reveals itself. Those brave enough to stay after dark report an overwhelming sense of being watched, as if unseen eyes are tracking their every move. Footsteps echo in the distance, though no one is there. Shadows stretch impossibly long across the sand, twisting and writhing as though animated by some unseen force. For the people of Bozava, these phenomena are simply part of life, an unspoken understanding passed down through generations. They live alongside the island's secrets, respecting its power and steering clear of certain areas after sunset. Outsiders, however, are not always so cautious. Every year, a handful of tourists ignore the warnings and venture onto the beaches at night, drawn by curiosity or disbelief. Few return unchanged, their minds haunted by images and sensations they cannot explain. Bozava stands as a paradox, a place of unparalleled beauty hiding depths of darkness. Its sands whisper secrets of a forgotten age, its shores bear the marks of untold suffering, and its waters conceal mysteries that defy logic. To visit Bozava is to walk the fine line between wonder and terror, where the allure of discovery is matched only by the dread of what lies hidden beneath the surface. For those willing to listen, the island speaks, not with words, but with the chilling resonance of history, tragedy, and the unknown. Easter Island, guardians of the silent statues. Easter Island, known locally as Rapa Nui, is a place where mystery and history intertwine beneath the gaze of its towering moai statues. These colossal stone figures, carved by the Rapa Nui people between 1250 and 1500 CE, are believed to represent deified ancestors, standing as silent sentinels overlooking the island's rugged landscape. Yet, beyond their cultural significance, the moai have become the focal point of eerie legends and unexplained phenomena that cast a shadow over this remote Pacific outpost. The creation and transportation of the moai remain engineering marvels that continue to baffle archaeologists. Weighing up to 86 tons and standing over 30 feet tall, these statues were crafted from volcanic rock and quarries and moved across miles of uneven terrain to their final positions. Oral traditions speak of rituals and chants imbued with spiritual energy, enabling the statues to walk to their platforms. However, modern interpretations suggest the use of ropes, logs, and sheer human effort. Regardless of the method, the process was undoubtedly labor-intensive and fraught with peril, leading to tales of curses and divine retribution. Legends abound regarding the consequences of disturbing the moai. Locals recount stories of misfortune befalling those who disrespect the sacred statues, accidents, illnesses, and even death. One particularly chilling account involves a team of archaeologists who attempted to excavate a buried moai in the 1950s. Shortly after beginning their work, several members of the team fell mysteriously ill, and equipment critical to the project malfunctioned without explanation. The expedition was abruptly halted, and the statue was left undisturbed. Similar incidents have been reported by tourists and researchers alike, feeding into the belief that the moai are not merely relics of the past but guardians of an ancient power. Paranormal investigators have long been drawn to Easter Island, lured by its enigmatic aura. EVP recordings taken near the statues have captured faint whispers and guttural sounds, interpreted by some as the voices of the ancestral spirits the Moai are said to embody. Others claim to feel an inexplicable heaviness in the air when standing close to the statues, as though the weight of centuries presses down upon them. Thermal imaging cameras have occasionally revealed anomalous heat signatures around the Moai, suggesting the presence of unseen entities. While skeptics dismiss these findings as environmental factors or psychological suggestion, the consistency of such reports lends credence to the island's supernatural reputation. Adding to the intrigue are the stories of glowing orbs and shadowy figures seen flitting between the statues at night. Locals refer to these manifestations as aku aku, benevolent spirits tasked with protecting the island and its inhabitants. However, not all encounters are benign. Some visitors describe feeling an overwhelming sense of dread in the presence of the Moai, as though they are being scrutinized by forces beyond comprehension. These conflicting accounts underscore the dual nature of the statues, as protectors and punishers, embodying both reverence and fear. The Moai's connection to the supernatural extends beyond individual anecdotes. Traditional Rapa Nui beliefs hold that the statues channel the mana, or spiritual energy, of their ancestors, ensuring the continued prosperity of the island. Rituals and offerings were historically performed to maintain this balance, and any disruption could invite calamity. Today, many islanders still adhere to these customs, viewing the Moai as living embodiments of their heritage. This deep-rooted spirituality permeates every aspect of life on Easter Island, blending seamlessly with the modern world while preserving the island's ethereal mystique. As the sun sets over Rapa Nui, casting long shadows across the silent statues, the boundary between myth and reality blurs. The Moai stand as timeless witnesses to the triumphs and tragedies of their creators, their inscrutable expressions concealing secrets that may never be fully understood. For those who dare to approach, Easter Island offers not only breathtaking beauty but also a glimpse into a realm where the past refuses to rest, a haunting reminder of humanity's enduring quest to connect with the divine. Embracing the shadows of haunted islands, scattered across the globe, serve as poignant reminders of humanity's complex relationship with the unknown. These enigmatic lands, shrouded in mystery and steeped in supernatural lore, challenge our perceptions and ignite our imaginations. From the spectral echoes of Poveglia's plague pits to the silent vigil of Easter Island's Moai, each location weaves a unique tapestry of history, tragedy, and the unexplained. Together, they form a collective narrative that transcends time and geography, speaking to an intrinsic human fascination with the boundaries between the living and the dead. The enduring appeal of haunted islands lies not only in their chilling tales but also in the questions they pose about our own existence. Why do we seek out these places of darkness and despair? Perhaps it is the thrill of confronting the unknown, the desire to test our courage against the supernatural. Or maybe it is the hope of finding answers to life's greatest mysteries. What happens after death, and do the spirits of the departed truly linger among us? These islands, with their ghostly reputations and eerie atmospheres, provide fertile ground for exploration, reflection, and storytelling. Moreover, haunted islands remind us of the resilience of the human spirit. Despite the tragedies and horrors that have unfolded on their shores, these places endure, bearing witness to both the fragility and strength of human life. They are monuments to survival, memory, and the indomitable will to leave a mark on the world, even if that mark is one of sorrow or fear. By visiting or learning about these islands, we honor the lives that shaped them and acknowledge the lessons they impart about history, culture, and the human condition. For those who dare to delve deeper, haunted islands offer more than just spine-tingling thrills. They invite us to embrace the shadows within ourselves and the world around us. They challenge us to confront our fears, question our beliefs, and seek meaning in the inexplicable. Whether you're a skeptic searching for rational explanations or a believer eager to connect with the otherworldly, these islands beckon with their haunting beauty and timeless allure. So, as you reflect on the stories shared here, consider this. The next time you find yourself near the sea, gazing at a distant island cloaked in mist, remember that its silence may conceal secrets far older and far stranger than you could ever imagine.